What's up, everybody? It's a cold 35-degree Saturday, and behind me is my new to me 2019 Giant Yukon. Let's check it out. So I just picked up this thing last night. I wanted to find a rigid bike to enjoy the trails with, and I was first thinking about something super lightweight, and then I was like, man, a fat bike is kind of on the opposite side of the spectrum of what I've been looking for. It's still rigid. Let's give it a shot. So this is a 2019 Giant Yukon 2 in a size large, and I haven't got a lot of seat time with it yet. Picked it up last night, just did a few minor tweaks, cleaning it up, rerunning a brake hose on there, checking tire pressures, and just want to share a couple first thoughts on it with you. One, the owner had these SPD pedals on there, which I really was not a fan of, so I took those off. And luckily, a neighbor had these new Trek or Bontrager line comps, whatever. These are just going to be temporary, I think. Anyway, how to fix that pedal situation. This has a Dior 10-speed setup in the back, which so far shifts pretty nice. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Leave it at that, right? Man, riding this thing around, it's so crazy hearing the big tires. But then with the tire pressure low, you kind of feel it squirm. Like you get this unnerving feel when you're riding it around. But that changes when I went from pavement to dirt. Once you get on the dirt with the low pressures, I don't really notice as much. Now, I haven't hit it on single track yet, just around my backyard. And I can say with low pressures, it feels so much better in the dirt than it does on the street. So whatever that's worth. The next thing is I had to trim this seat post down considerably. I probably trimmed off like 3 or 4 inches off of that thing to get it in a low position here like I like. And then I can still raise it up to the same height wherever I need. Unfortunately, it's not a quick release clamp on there, and a dropper would be pretty cool. So I'm thinking I'm going to be on the hunt for a 30.9 dropper. This is the Trex or Bontrager saddle that came off of my 2023 Trek Roscoe 7. So that's a nice upgrade from the one that was on here. It was used. Got these Colossus tires. They're the 27.5. They're 4x8s or 4x5s rather. Is it 4x5? 4x5s, front and rear. Crazy. And just for kicks, I lowered the pressure down to 2 psi and 3 psi. And on the street, really wallowy, really unnerving. But once I took it onto the dirt, it really wasn't that bad. So I'm super curious to try this out and see how it is on our local single track. The other thing I noticed immediately upon riding was the wide spacing. Like, you know it's wide, but until you ride it, you're like, oh man, it is kind of wide. It's not terrible. It's something I definitely think I'll get used to. But what I found was when I was pedaling, my heels would end up hitting the chainstays on the back here. And I'm surprised they're not really scuffed up. I think the previous owner rode clips to help with that, but actually you can kind of see scuffs right there showing up on the black. So that's something. The other thing I noticed was like these handlebars look super wide. I don't know if these are the ones that came on the bike or came on the bike, but they do say Giant Connect. I'm pretty sure that's not the original stem. Maybe it is. It also says Salsa Cycles. That's definitely not original. It's got these DD grips. But back to the handlebar. The handlebars felt super wide. Now, I know I had cut down the bars on my stump jumper to like 760, something like that. And I was like, man, is that just a big difference between an 800 and a 760? No, turns out these things are like 830 millimeters wide. So I was like, holy crap. So yeah, that's probably the next thing I'm going to do as soon as I wrap up this video. Luckily, I'm gonna just throw on this bar, which is a 31.8 770, I believe, 780. That 780 that came off of the Trek Roscoe. So just want to admit, I was wrong. The reason it felt wider isn't because the bars are any longer, because the bars are both about 780. It's because the DD grips here weren't pushed in all the way. So I think they had like another inch on both sides that they could have gone in. And that extra, inch or so just made such a difference in how wide those bars felt. The other thing I did was I did take this off. So this Truvative stem with the Giant Connect bar is actually lighter than this Bontrager bar that came off of the Trek Roscoe by like 8 grams or something. Nothing major, but just interesting to note. I thought this one was going to be a little bit lighter. Nonetheless, that bar and stem combo is lighter than the one I was going to put on. I'm going to keep that one on there, and I'm going to give these DD Death Grip grips a try. So far I like them. I'm going to wrap this up. I said I was. I'm definitely wrapping it up. All right, guys, if you got a fat bike, let me know. If you didn't like it, let me know why. If you're in the mid-Atlantic area, Northern Virginia, DC area, and you got a fat bike, let me know where you like to ride this thing the most. All right, catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Till next time.